Hello, today I'm going to talk about an idea which is called Chesterton's fence. It's something I've heard some talk about recently. I thought I'd look into this and see what it was all about. And what it turns out is that G.K. Chesterton, the writer, wrote in a book in 1929 the concept of before you can clear something away, you need to properly understand it. And that has a couple of interesting messages for project managers, even though it might sound somewhat paradoxical. At the beginning of a project, you need to fully understand, obviously, everything that you have to do, everything that's in the current environment, and figure out how things are going to be done. In the course of that, you may come across things that are a bit of a puzzle. Things that you don't know why they're there, what they do, look like they're redundant, look like they're unimportant, and you want to clear away. It might even seem obvious that they serve no purpose, but you have to be really careful because in many situations, things aren't what they appear. And there have been examples of business critical software running on a PC, sitting underneath a desk. Many other situations where at first sight something looks pointless, meaningless. Why is it there? But if it took time and effort to put it in the first place, there was a reason. The reason might be out of date. The reason might not have been a good reason in the first place. But you need to understand that, because if you clear it away without understanding that, then you could run into big problems. So when you're looking at a new project, you need to make sure that everything in the whole situation is fully understood. Not necessarily by you yourself, so long as somebody in your team fully understands that. And you may find that something is truly something you can remove, and you can be reassured that you've done your research and you can remove it. You may find that something can't be removed and it becomes an obstacle, it becomes an issue that needs to be logged, and you need to work out a plan of how you're going to manage that situation. But at least you've done the research to know that this particular item that other people might think is meaningless is actually really important and needs to stay in place. Now, at the other end of a project, you've got the opposite to do. When you've completed a project, there may be things that are redundant, you know you can remove them. You need to make sure that you do remove them if you can. If removing them isn't in the scope and in the budget, you might find that you're limited in what you can do, but at least in the documentation you can show that this was found to be redundant and can be removed. And also it would be good to replace it and power it down. If it's plugged in and still powered up, unplug it, because I have seen pieces of equipment that are plugged in that appear not to be doing anything, but they're plugged in. You think, I don't unplug it, I don't unplug it. So if you're ending a project, you're the one who knows it can be unplugged, so you should do that, or arrange that somebody else does that. If it's something that needs to stay in place, you've left it in place, but it's a puzzle, a future project might go through the same, or project manager might go through the same thinking process as you have just been through. Add something into the documentation about what you've discovered, label the equipment if possible, so that future project managers will see that and see that it's something that needs to remain in place and to understand what it is that it does. So, simple message really. If you come across something you don't fully understand why it's there, if it took time and effort and thought to put it in place, you need to understand why, if it's still relevant, and then either remove it if it's no longer needed, or label it in some way, document it so that future project managers will know it needs to stay. One thing just crosses my mind, and that is, of course, the future changes. And so when you do label something or document it, you need to obviously clearly date it, but also recognize that in the future the situation may change. So if it needs to remain for a particular reason, you need to document that so that a future project manager can look at his current situation, their current situation, and compare with what you've written and make a decision for what is appropriate then. Okay, I hope that helps you in your projects, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.